Hey Boca Raton, today I'm reporting from Dallas, Texas, and I have the opportunity to be attending Turning Point's Young Leadership Women's Summit, and I'm so excited. And today I'm actually sitting with a really special millennial, and we're going to be telling you all about what it's like to be in this multi-dimensional demographic. So, can you explain a little bit about your perspective on what it's like to be a millennial while also being a conservative?
Yeah, absolutely. So being a millennial and a conservative is to a lot of people very contradicting, but really it's not. Like we have over 1,000 women coming to this conference that are all conservative, that are all excited at different points of their lives in high school or college or even grad school that are going to be here. But as a conservative millennial, I get a lot of hate, a lot of people saying that I'm not, warm, that I'm not, emotional, but really, in all honesty, I just believe in limited government, and I believe that everyone has the right to do whatever they want to do, and that the government should stay out of our business. That doesn't mean anything else other than the fact that, I love conservatism, but that I'm also a very feminine woman too.
Got ya. And so, as a millennial that is a conservative, are there like particular things that bother you in the fact that maybe some people believe that because you are conservative, it would inhibit you from being passionate about like other millennial causes, for instance, like education or just the right of when it comes to like freedom of speech and things of that nature?
I think that a lot of the older crowd would definitely say that, but a lot of millennials especially are now in the mindset that you just because you're fiscally conservative does not mean that you have to be conservative on every social issue. I personally believe that no party has a monopoly over a social issue, and that really the left came over and tried to take over, all of these emotional issues because they really appeal to the emotions. But in general, conservatives are just as, inspired, just as excited about education and feminism and all the things that go into that. Like one of my biggest things is higher education reform, and that's what I have been preaching about on campuses all across the country, is that it's really important for, us young people to come forward and step up and say, look, this is what's happening, we need to do something better to fix it. So just because we're conservative and we believe in limited government doesn't mean that we believe in, limited everything. Doesn't mean that we believe that, there's no such thing as a conservative social issue.
Right. And because you are so passionate about all these different issues pertaining to politics, a lot of people say that apathy is a big component of our demographic specifically and millennials. So how did you kind of get that torch passed to you, and where did that passion come from? Was it inspired by a mentor, or was it just inherent?
Well, actually, I used to be, before when I was really involved in politics, I thought that I was more liberal. I thought I was more left-leaning when I was like a freshman in high school.
Wow.
And then one of my friends called me and got me involved on the Romney campaign before I could even vote. And I didn't know anything about politics. I didn't know what it meant. And then I really just stuck my toes in the water and really got a feel for everything and realized, oh my gosh, the more educated I became, the more conservative I became. And the more I learned about what really it means to be a small government versus big government, I was like, of course, no, I don't want the government in my business. Of course I'm going to be a conservative. So then I just kept getting involved in more things. I became the college Republican president of my university for 3 years. Well, more a dictatorship, but it's okay. And then I got involved with Turning Point and Future Female Leaders and every campaign that I worked on, I would just bring me more closer to being more conservative and almost more libertarian in some sides of things. It really just, the more active you are, the more inspiring you are, and the more passionate you become about everything you can do.
So if you are a millennial who does want to engage more so in politics, but doesn't necessarily want it to be a dominant facet of their life, but they just want to be a little bit more knowledgeable, what advice would you give them? What outlets should they seek out? What tools? What should they utilize? What's your suggestion?
So my suggestion is to read. Education and knowledge is the one thing that nobody can ever take away from you. So whether it's looking at Future Female Leaders, our reading lists, we constantly have reading lists on summer readings, just as basic as that, up to some serious reading about Middle Eastern policies and stuff like that. So we're constantly releasing new books to get your hands on, and so is Turning Point USA and Pipeline News, Outset Network and Outset Magazine, and just a lot of different conservative networks that are more geared towards millennials, because Fox News, while it's great and we love it, is definitely geared towards an older audience. So we want to make sure that young millennials are reading things that pertain to us and to our time, that are all digital. So you can be, on the train going to work, or, sitting and waiting for your doctor's appointment. Just be scrolling through news articles. Just be constantly online. That's where our generation is. That's where the new leaders are coming from. They're all coming from Twitter and from Facebook. So as long as you're there and you're constantly refreshing your feed, you're going to have some knowledge, and as long as you start following certain accounts, you'll totally be in the know.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with
course.
us, imparting your knowledge. And it's so great to hear from a leader who's a millennial and still involved in their student activities at school.
Yes,
and so I hope you guys all benefited from this segment, and we'll catch you guys next time.